I got a question from a donation that wanted to remain anonymous, but it was a really interesting and common one. He says, I've just broken up with a woman I loved very deeply, and I'm shattered. Here is a condensed version. I did everything and more that any guy would have done in our relationship. If our relationship was a job, I would have been promoted over and over again because I'd gone above and beyond in my efforts compared to other guys. She even told me how lucky she thought she was in the early days. Yeah, I've experienced this a few times too. Again, it's people can say this is anecdotal, but it's so common in experience. And don't forget by the nature of how we see relationships going. It's the female's the passive one. She really doesn't do anything, especially in that early dating phase, the honeymoon period when you're committed, etc. So whether they get stuck in that pattern of, that's what they're used to, well, this is how we began. I did nothing and he liked me for being effectively useless. And we continue like that. So she continues to be what you fell in love with. And again, I'm saying I've made this mistake myself too. He goes on to say, she even told me how lucky she thought she was in the early days. Yeah, I had an ex actually tell me that she was glad that my ex-girlfriend stuffed up because now she gets to have me. But again, that's history now. He goes on to say, she didn't do much in the relationship, but that was fine with me. Just having her be around me was enough. I never asked for anything. This is so common. I mean, it's straight away hit me in the feels because I think almost every guy who just wants a nice girl, just wants to be with someone can relate to this. You don't want anything. You don't want to ask too much that you drive her away. I'll do everything, dear. Just be nice. I like you, you like me. I won't ask anything of you. He goes on to say, but then as the cliche goes, she started to become irritated at the smallest things. She became distant. Again, that sort of, that behavior is very common. Again, I think it's because of their passive nature. It's not just what they do, but what they say. Passive aggression is part of a woman's tactics too. But again, not all women, but just generally. These stories and these descriptions of how the opposite sex acts, and I'm sure women have their own cliches, there's got to be some validity to them in terms of a general sense. She became distant, and then one day she told me she didn't feel the same way anymore. She said she didn't love me anymore. I was stunned. Yeah, I bet. Been there. Join the club. I don't mean to make light of it, but a lot of us have been there. The majority of us have been there who've been with women. I knew things had gone down in energy, but I never expected all that time we'd put in to be flushed away in one moment. Yeah, this is the thing with men. We invest a lot. I did a video previously, link below. Men act, women promise to. This is the thing with men. We once we commit to a woman, that's it. It's locked in, and then we start putting the work in there that will never be recovered. Women don't see the problem with that. They say, well, it's just money, but that's what we revolve around. Like, because we can't bear children, our contribution is the work we do through time. Time is important. The time we've invested is important, and the work we've done in that time. Which is funny because when separations occur, a woman wants the money that she said wasn't important in the first place. But we all know that the security around money is a very practical thing in terms of life. It does a lot to ameliorate. It does a lot to ameliorate the fears of tomorrow. It helps you sleep better at night. I have such a mixture of heartbreak for her because I did love her and probably still do if I'm honest. At least you're honest. Good for you. And at the same time, anger because I put in so much, and the blasé way she left was like a slap in the face to all my efforts. It was like a stranger. Yep. Can you give me any thoughts on this? And if you had similar experiences, love your videos. They've really helped me. Blah, blah, blah. Anonymous. Yeah, as I said, I think it's just women's nature. If If I'd had my stable acceptance of what women are now, instead of trying to make them what I desperately want, especially because they're convincing me they're everything I want anyway, like everything was pointing in the same direction, it's hard for your psyche. You've been conditioned that they are everything you deeply, deeply want. They're everything your biology is drawing you to. It's hard to sort of say, yeah, hang on a minute. It's like someone offering you, $1 million. Here you go. Just take the money. Go. It's like, hang on a minute. Where'd this money come from? You're not going to ask that. It's kind of like everything's drawing you to just jump off that euphoric cliff. Again, watch my older video, Men Act, Women Promise to. Women are passive. That's their nature. I mean, don't hate them for it. There are probably nice aspects imbuing their passivity, which is the things that we like. We kind of like the softness around that passivity too. Again, I'm not excusing women's bad behavior. But because of that passivity, you're the one who has to get the relationship engine running right from the start. You have to risk approaching her. You have the car, you ask a girl out, you risk rejection, you entertain her, you make her happy to be around you, you try and make her laugh, as the saying goes. You try and just be this song and dance that she falls for. And basically, you're the one that's acting all the time and keeping the relationship engine fueled and running. And if you're so inclined, you want to get married, you save up for a house, you get on one knee, you buy her a ring, which is usually, 6 months to a year of your salary. And basically this massive, massive investment that to her shows how much you love her, which is what a ring is as well. When you look at it, it's a worthless rock. But to women's subconscious psychology, I think they know we think it's so worthless. I mean, it's a rock in the ground that's polished. But if we're prepared to pay 6 months to a year of our salary for a worthless rock in the ground to give to her, I mean, that degree of insanity that you love her, to her it seems like, okay, I've got him, I don't have anything to worry about. But yeah, you're the human doing. You do all this stuff, unfortunately. You have to front load the relationship, always. I suppose women are front loaded with beauty and fertility. Men are burdened with front loading the relationship with effort. Unfortunately, nature designed it that men and women operate in the way that the man front loads everything in the relationship. The analogy that often comes to mind is women in romantic relationships are like losing weight or working out or fitness. You have to put in a lot of work on the front end to even hope of getting any returns. However, and this is the big however today especially, you used to get sensible rewards, but unlike losing weight and working out, there's a ridiculously high probability that if you put in the effort of working out and losing weight and so forth, you will get the rewards. It is extremely unlikely that there'll be any deleterious effects from working out or putting in effort into something. Learning how to master any craft or hobby or discipline, usually you do benefit and succeed and get some rewards from it. But this is the point with the lie of today's romantic relationships with women and the false marketing and brochure of what women hand you, is that you front load everything, your time and effort, and you virtually get nothing back. Statistically, it shows you get nothing back. So the best course of action I could suggest to any guy going out with a woman is you're still required to front load the relationship, like fitness and working out. You just need to do it. If you want to get some sort of rewards out of that thing, you need to front load it. But the amount of effort you put in incrementally, these days, if you are to have relationships with women, incrementally, step by step, keep asking for payment, for rewards, for reciprocity. More and more, it needs to be some sort of reciprocal relationship, not equal, but reciprocal today. You could be fine back in the day, from what I've seen and heard, that you could be a man, you didn't require much, but she would stay what she promised to be and what you fell in love with, generally speaking. There'd be ups and downs and arguments and all that, but in terms of anything I can do to help this situation is time. Unfortunately, you've just got to eat this pocket of time, this pain afterwards. Time will sort of heal it, as cliche as it is. I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but unfortunately, you need to eat this and it'll bear fruit later in terms of lessons learnt, in terms of building your boundaries that people won't take advantage of you in the future. Thanks for the donation. Thanks for the story. It was really interesting to me. I think it'll be interesting to other people too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the all drop down. Join me on Discord and donate if you feel so inclined. I really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Let me know your thoughts below on this subject, gentlemen. Has this happened to you? And if you've had experience with it, what did you do to overcome it and what helped? I'm sure a lot of us would be interested. Thank you. Bye.